Good afternoon, everyone. I think Praveen has given me a difficult task to moderate a session which is just before lunch. So me and my fellow panelists will ensure that we don't keep you long from your lunches. Yeah. So all set now? Yeah. Okay. So coming to the topic, as Praveen was mentioning, the whole importance of sustainability, circular economy, and renewables. So it's no longer a fad, actually, if you talk of all these three topics. Actually, global trends are driving the need for sustainability and circular economy. The global population is expected to reach 9.6 billion by 2050. And as per estimates, we would require 3 planet Earths if we want to sustain our existing standard of living. According to international panel on intergovernmental panel on climate control, we have until 2030 before climate change becomes irreversible. As per IPCC, if we continue with our existing climate commitments of the Paris Agreement, there is very chance that the global temperatures will rise by 3.2 degrees centigrade by end of this century. The chemical industry is actually central to providing solution to the global challenges of resource scarcity and climate change. The Indian chemical industry, for that matter, is already progressing towards sustainability goals, mainly driven by organizations which are prioritizing environmental responsibility, innovation, and resource operational efficiency. Yeah. So more and more companies are aligning themselves with science-based target initiatives, where they are talking of reducing of their scope 1, scope 2, scope 3 emissions. And even our own Prime Minister is talking of that India will become net zero by 2070. So most of our chemical industry is also trying to align with the mission Viksit Bharat 2047 goals. Now, this path that we are going ahead with is not laced with all flowers. There are a lot of challenges as well. There are technological gaps. There are high production costs involved because of the renewable feedstock. There is challenges in the whole value chain coordination. And to top it all, there is also regulatory and compliance challenges. Yeah. All of this we will be discussing with my esteemed panel members during the course of this discussion. So I'll just now involve my esteemed panelists, and we'll start with Mr. Krishnan. So all of you, if you can give a brief overview of your company's sustainable vision and also talk about the sustainability progress of your organizations.
Right, good afternoon. Nitin warned us that he will cut off the mic after 60 seconds because I said otherwise we won't finish by lunch, so we'll try to stick to that. 5 years back, sustainability was alphabet soup, and we still laugh about it. No longer. At Aditya Birla Global Chemicals business, we have started baby steps, maybe a little bit speeding up on areas where we can see value capture in sustainability, but we are attacking all the elements of environment, social and governance. Environment is more visible. Social and governance is coming in where we are export-oriented businesses, where we have to do many things on the human rights and show that we are doing it in corporate governance, disclosures, reporting, etc. So having the framework in the background and we have multiple entities, that part is not difficult. But in the environment part, we are focusing on decarbonization. We have hard to abate chloralkali business. We are focusing on water, which is necessary for business survival. It's no longer sustainability, it is survival of the business. Waste management, which we think is a responsibility, cutting down the hazardous waste by 50%. And on the social front, contractors and gender diversity. So we have focused on these 5 pillars, and wherever needed, if there is a climate risk, we are attacking the climate resilience at that site, cyclone prone, flood prone, so that there is no business continuity impact. So for us, sustainability is a clear business value capture, and we are going 5 years at a time. Because otherwise it becomes a realm of science fiction films. What will happen with batteries, whether nuclear reactors will be set up near Ujjain, Nagda, etc. So we are watching the space, but we are taking steps, and all the 5 areas I mentioned are value capture. It's no longer an alphabet soup. I am not a sustainability or a safety professional, but I handle both as a manufacturing practitioner. So I can say in my company, there are many of my colleagues here, we can walk with respect. We are not the LBDN types, looking busy, doing nothing. So sustainability is mainstreaming and it's encouraging. Thank you.
I am Mritunjay Chaubey, and I am heading globally sustainability and environment for UPL. UPL Limited is a agrochemical company, and at this moment of time, we are helping farmers in more than 138 countries to feed the world sustainably. And from last several years, our main focus on sustainability is we are focusing on mainly 4 sustainability goals. And you can see the detailed progress and work happening in our sustainability report, which we used to release every year. So the first goal, sustainability goal, we are focusing on reduce environment footprint. And here we are focusing on our manufacturing plant. And at this moment we have approximately 58 operating plant globally. And we track all the data and try to reduce the carbon, water, waste inside the operation. And last 5 years, if you see, then our achievement was that we have reduced waste 52% and water 49% from 2020 baseline, and the carbon 36% from the 2020 baseline. The second goal we pursue on enhancing world food security. So there we are trying to bring a different product portfolio which is sustainable and differentiated product. And the third sustainability goal is enhance sustainable sourcing. So we are doing a lot of work with our suppliers for the sustainable sourcing, and there we are focusing on reduction of scope 3 emission. And the fourth is enhance community well-being. So there also we are pursuing several work. So I think this is the main 4 sustainability goal which we are pursuing at this moment of time. And next term when come, then I shall explain.
Thank you. Yeah, this is Santosh.
Yeah, I am Santosh Pandey, heading the HSEF function in Deepak Phenolics. You know, phenol, we are in largest manufacturer of phenol in India. We are having market around 60 to 70% entire domestic market. China fair, yes, China fair we try to reduce up to a certain extent. Now the challenge to, you know, phenol is very toxic chemicals, highly corrosive chemicals. To handle the phenol, one time there was this legal body, something that how are going to this produce phenol, because in the Dahej area where we are at present, there is a very watch on this. But yes, we proved that phenol we can produce, not only produce, but we can optimize the cost in terms of use of our raw material, use of the energy, use of the water, and reduce the waste. I can say the waste generated at the phenol is very minimal. In plant, there was generation of the ATP waste that we utilize in our boiler rule line. We discussed with Dr. Chaubey that the labor lengthy process, yes, with the legal body, we did the trial in our boiler, around 3 trial with the CPCB, GPCB, they were their site. And we developed the SOP under CPCB guidelines for the entire this nation. Whenever any industry, if you use the phenol, produce phenol, they can follow the SOP. And now phenol, not phenol, but in any chemical process, there is very important how we are minimizing the waste at the source, at the reactor, at our this process. We did in phenol. There is a defenation process, very important process. Phenol in our plant is around 3 to 400 ppm at the plant generation. We reduced it at the 35 to 40 ppm before going to ETP. Now ETP function is proper way, and the ETP source also reduced at the plant. We are using the water inside the plant, yes. And this power, we increased the capacity around threefold. See, same power, same water, in minimum business raw materials. By optimizing the process, advanced process control, we are talking the AI. We are using AI at the water extent. There's nothing, I can say this autopilot mode. The plane is running autopilot mode. So our plant, other than emergency, it is in autopilot mode. Only operator is supposed to feed some parameters, then process itself can control. So by this, and if we are talking green energy, we are using rail car to transport the phenol. You know, toxic chemical handling phenol, like chemical in India is very tough challenge. Ammonia, yes, up to certain extent, we are transporting by using the train, rail car, means this rail tanker. We started this. Others, our this main concern is this transportation of this propylene and benzene. We are purchasing from the far country south, means Kochi and something Bhatinda for benzene. That challenge, we are addressing this. Thank you.
Thank you, Santosh. Yes, Samir.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Samir Rawal. I represent Indorama Ventures Specialty Chemicals division called Indovinya. We have a very clear and robust sustainability strategy with the targets set up to 2030. It is based on 3 pillars. The first pillar is decarbonizing and making our operations eco-efficient. Under this pillar, there are several levers with again clear targets. So we are going to reduce water intensity by 10% by 2025 and by 20% by 2030. We are going to reduce energy intensity by 5% 2025 and 15% by 2030. We are going to reduce our carbon or GHG emissions by 12% in 2025 and 25% in 2030. We are going to reduce our waste by 10%. So that was first pillar. Our second pillar is innovation and sustainable product development. We have taken a target of 15% of our turnover should come from sustainable products by 2025, and glad to report that we achieved it in 2024. So all our new products which we are going to develop or launch will be sustainable from now on. The third pillar, which is very interesting, and maybe these 2 pillars were similar to what we heard so far, but the third pillar is making our organization future ready. And this covers a lot of parameters. The first one is DEI. I hope you have heard DEI. A lot of you might have heard it. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. It includes goals like 50% of our senior leaders are going to be women by 2030, which is a very ambitious goal. In India, we are struggling, and hopefully it will change with the times to come as more women come into chemical industry. But globally, we are already much ahead of target. We have a lot of women leaders in our leadership team. We are also looking at community engagement. So all the areas where our plants are operating, we engage the community, we do work for their welfare. Responsible sourcing, safety, compliance, environment, which I don't want to repeat, which already the team has discussed here. So our organization is focusing on this 2030 strategy with clear goals and a quarterly review in place. Thank you.
Thank you, Kavishwar. Thank you, Samir.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Myself, Kavishwar. So we are into the very noble business and the company called Crystal Crop Protection Limited. We are supporting the producers of India, especially farmer, in a sustainable way by providing them all resources. We first serve to the country and then we look for the exports. So we have portfolio from seed to harvest. So we do seed production, we do technical manufacturing, we do formulations, and we basically have a distribution centers along with the agri equipment. So we have patented agri equipment which are supported to reduction of herbicides, insecticides, fungicides in a sustainable way. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Pankaj Mehrotra, and I belong to Samsara Group, which is one of the leading shipping agency and logistics organization. In terms of logistics, we handle all segments of cargoes, container, liquid, bulk, chemicals, LNG, LPG, export agents. One of our initiatives is also Zodiac Tank Container Terminal, which you will find our booth outside. This is an initiative to support the chemical industry towards creating a green environment. We are one of the, I think, only facility with a proper professional setup with all sorts of compliances, which we have been audited by various manufacturers, organizations, which is fully compliant. And we are one of the only ones who clean the road tankers in a professional setup. As our logo speaks, we are, the drop in Zodiac is green. And we want to support the initiative towards the green sustainability, sustainable environment towards the chemical industry in every possible manner. I'll come to the what all initiatives we do in a later part, but just to also add, we belong to larger group, which is Sharaf Group, based out of Dubai. Probably a lot of you might have heard because they are quite large in various segments. And they have set up a plant, lead acid battery recycling unit in Dubai, and they handle 85% of the used lead acid batteries in Dubai, which is about 21,000 tons every year, recycling of that. So that's the vision of our management, and I don't think so we have heard of anything about it in India as of now. I don't think so any facility like that has been there, but we may be later on in some, this thing we may aspire to do that as well. So this is our initiative as a management, as a group. We would like to support the industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain sir. We move on to Santosh.
Hi, my name is Krishnamoorthy. I represent GloGreen Energy Solutions. This has been my 35 years in service, out of which 18 years I spent in the oil and energy sector. So probably you can say this is karma, because 18 years of fossil fuel, and now I am 18 years now in the renewable industry. I did work for a few renewable companies before moving into consulting. And in consulting, my company is clearly focused on providing sustainable renewable energy solutions for the corporate clients, basically the commercial and industrial customers, because they are the ones who are not, I mean, earlier they had green energy, what you can say, targets and so on. But now not only green energy provides them with the tag of green energy, but along with that, there is a potential of saving up to 30% of their power cost. As you're aware, power constitutes roughly between 10% to 80% of the power cost of customers, depending on the type of business they are involved in. So there is a significant potential to improve the bottom line of the company if they move into renewable energy. Now, in order to move into renewable energy, it is very important to understand how, because there are various customers have multiple plants, and it is very difficult for them to understand the complexity of the types of power which is available, as well as whatever are the regulatory mechanisms available, and to realize how they can achieve RE 100. Because today the goal is to move up to 75% or even up to 100% renewable. Because, for example, in the European market now, there is a prerequisite for a lot of products to sell into their markets that they have to use green energy for their production. So it is not only from a business perspective, but also it provides profitability as well. So we are helping clients across the country to convert into renewable energy, which includes a combination of rooftop solar, which can probably meet around 10% of their power requirement. And for the remaining, they could look at either solar, wind, or wind solar hybrid, or solar plus BESS or hybrid plus BESS, depending on the state where the plant is located. So we normally work very closely with clients. Presently we work so far with almost 50 corporate clients, and we clearly guide them on what is the most optimal solution to go for, which can enable them to achieve that RE100 goal, along with providing them the maximum savings on their power cost. I do have a presentation at the end of the event, so I'll explain more in detail about this journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Krishnan. So I thank you all for sharing with us how sustainability is getting integrated across processes in your organization. So Krishnan, my first question to you would be, can you please elucidate the efforts which chemical industry is doing on decarbonization, specifically on scope 1, scope 2, scope 3 reductions, and focusing on the two levers of energy transition and material transition?
Yes, I think quickly, he said about 80% power. Chloralkali, which is part of our vertical, 70% of our cost is power. So there, the scope 1, we have captive power plants, more than 300 megawatt. So there it's a steal. It's a no-brainer when we get renewable energy. So our efforts on energy focuses on chloralkali. We have advanced materials business, which is 85% scope 3. So there we have to go to our vendors, our supply partners through supply chain efforts and encourage them to decarbonize. Fortunately, we have large majors from whom we buy. So they have signed on to target. So my scope 3 gets taken care for advanced material business via the business partners. Scope 2 is a tricky area. We still don't have enough solutions. We are trying to electrify steam applications, but steam is not going away. So scope 2 is a bit of a challenge, scope 1, the steam part is a challenge. Scope 2 is easily done with the renewable. We have decarbonized since 2017, 37%. In renewable share, we have taken funding from, concessional funding from International Finance Corporation, just to showcase our credentials, with a promise to increase our renewable share of electrical power to 20% in the next 5 years. So scope 1, scope 2, scope 3, we are attacking all of them at the same time. So that's on the energy transition. On the material transition, because I said about the scope 3 intensive businesses, even Grasim has entered into paints. So there also it is 80% scope 3. There we are looking at biogenic material sourcing. So previous panel was talking about alternate feedstock. That is of interest to us. So we are going to produce ECH with glycerine rather than propylene. We are trying if methanol via the route of ethanol, bioethanol, can be a carbon, low carbon raw material for our products. We have nylon tire cord, UFY tire cord business, where we use depolymerized chips recycled, where the ratio of carbon is 1:7 between virgin material and recycled material. So these initiatives also give us, focus into material transition. It's not just that we continue to make how we have been making. So we have products like bisphenol, we have resins which can be substituted by agro-based alkyd. So I worked with Nitin on RECIC panel, resource efficiency and circularity. And we are big votaries for the agro-based feedstock. But things are looking difficult in 2-3 years. But I think in 10 years from now, agro feedstock will help us in the material transition part. So we are hopeful. We are trying to make value capture decarbonization now via energy. But we are very careful in selecting the products, like Samir said. with product stewardship very clearly defined, that we design the products now based on their carbon footprint. So we have life cycle analysis as a very important tool, product carbon footprint, environmental product declaration. So my R&D and my design teams are working on designing the products which we probably didn't do 20 years back. So any product that comes to the market based on application focus of customer is also getting a design focus in terms of carbon, so that that material transition part comes into the picture. And we spoke about process efficiencies, which is adding to the decarbonization by intensifying the process and making it more energy efficient. So a lot of interesting things in the pipeline. 3 years will show good progress. 2030 we'll be beating the targets. And 2035 we expect to set up newer areas of decarbonization using material and energy. Thank you.
Thank you, Krishnan. I completely agree with you. Yes, there is short-term challenge, and specifically in sourcing of the renewable feedstock. But India being an agri-based economy, I think definitely we will be able to overcome these challenges. So bio-based chemicals, actually, I definitely see the next decade belonging to bio-based chemicals. And to be honest, already the market is around 100 billion USD. And it is estimated that the market by 2032 will nearly double. It will become $210 billion with a 9.6% CAGR. So just extending this further, Samir, can you tell us what are the key drivers of this emergence of these bio-based chemicals? What are the challenges that you are seeing in this adaptation of these materials going forward?
Thank you, Nitin. So let's break it up into two parts. The first question was, what are the drivers for bio-based chemicals? It can be two factors. The first one is obviously the decarbonization drive. Each company has set a target that by 2030 or by 2050 we will become neutral, carbon neutral or zero, etc. So in search of this, they are going for raw materials which are renewable, bio-based, etc. Or the second drive could be consumer-driven, where consumers are becoming aware. The new generations, if you see our kids, they are becoming aware. They are thinking whether this raw material or whether this product, is it sustainable, whether I should use this product or not. So it's consumer pull. Now these two drivers will lead the growth of bio-based raw material. Bio-based can either come from green resources or even waste, recycle, etc., etc. When it comes to acceptance by customers, people, when it comes to using themselves, don't mind paying premium. So if you go to beauty products, healthcare, you will not mind paying 30-40% premium for bio-based products. Or even beauty products, it could be 300% premium. We don't see price of a cream, which is a small tube is costing 1,000 rupees, which otherwise could be conventional raw materials, 100 rupees. But when it goes to beyond beauty and personal care, other areas like your industrial use, your home care, I think that awareness is still not there. Their customers or consumers are not willing to pay premium. They will ask this question to you as a supplier, what extra benefit customer is going to get? Is this going to add any differentiating factor to my product? If not, why should I buy bio-based if it is expensive? If you are going to give me at same price or maybe 5% higher price, consumers are willing to experiment, but not the extra premium. The other big question which needs to be answered is bio-based delivered at the cost of food chain? Are we diverting raw materials from food chain to make chemicals which are biodegradable? So things like corn, sugarcane, etc. if consumers or if population doesn't have even enough food to eat, and we are diverting these chemicals just to have a green label on our chemicals, it is not going to be fair. So I will leave you with this thoughts on biodegradable products. Thank you.
Thank you, Samir. Just to carry on what Krishnan said, so one lever which Samir addressed was on the material transition. The second lever is on energy transition. So Krish, can you share how your company is supporting companies in achieving their goals towards green energy? And can you also elaborate on the cost-benefit analysis?
As I earlier mentioned, our full-time job is basically to convert customers to clean energy. And if you talk about cost-benefit analysis, it's very clear that there are various models available in a renewable perspective. One obviously is for you to invest into the project 100%. Now many companies would find it, saying that this is not my core business, why should I invest into this? But obviously the cheapest form of power will be when you invest, because when you invest 100%, one is you are able to claim the GST input credit on the project, which is roughly 15.8%. Then you are also able to claim accelerated depreciation. So the combination of that means that there is a 30% reduction in the capital cost. However, since capex is a scarce commodity, and most of my customers will say that I get only 14% return if I invest in renewable, whereas in my own business I'll get maybe 30%. So he says, why should I invest? And moreover, one of the other minuses is also that technology is evolving. So what happens if the technology changes after some time? Will my investment go for a toss? So that is one of the reasons why a lot of companies feel that they would rather go with the group captive route, wherein we have investor putting in the money and they only put in 7.8% of the project cost. That is the consumer or the off-taker. So there also there is potential saving. As I said, group captive potentially provides up to 30 to 40% savings on power cost. And the third option is a third-party model, wherein there is no investment from the consumer and he buys purely on a power purchase agreement, wherein in some states it is viable. For example, Gujarat is a viable model. Still on a third party, there is some saving, but maybe 5 to 10%, depending on the customer and depending on the voltages. But as I said, there is potential saving in all the models. Now the question is, what is the direction the company would like to take? It's a call which an individual company has to take. For example, a lot of multinationals in the past said that we don't want to take equity stake in the SPV because there's a shareholding issue and so on. So those companies earlier went for the third-party route, but a lot of the multinationals, even based out of US or Europe, now are finding group captive acceptable. They have managed to convince their top management, their legal and so on. And so I would say a lot of investment now is going the group captive route, where there is huge potential and there's a lot of foreign funds available which are ready to be deployed. Everywhere somebody or the other is sitting with a 2,000 crore pile to put in equity, and there is a lot of debt available in the market for the renewable power. And so which obviously means that it's good news for the off-taker to convert into renewables in any form. So as I said, the cheapest mode is the on-site plant, followed by the group captive model and then the third-party model. So these are the three models available for the consumers to go for renewables.
Thank you, Chris. Completely agree with you. Capex is a rare commodity. Running our plant myself, I can tell you that that becomes a biggest hurdle. So what we do is we go via the PPA, the purchasing power agreement. So in our plant also we have gone with 100% solar agreement with one of the companies, Yantra, and that's how the whole of the plant in Hyderabad is being operated by a solar power. Coming to now the operation side, actually. So we talked about the material side, we talked of the energy transition, but the lowest hanging fruit could be what can we do in the operations. So Kavishwar, if you can tell me how chemical companies are incorporating sustainability in the operation processes itself.
Yeah, thank you. I think this is one of the great portfolio and great work to work. So what I see that which, especially within the premises when you issue, where you can influence. So I can categorize into the three parts: process, energy, and waste. So in a process, I can tell you about my organization and my previous organization. So look for the greener chemistry. So when we say greener chemistry is how you can replace non-biodegradable to biodegradable. Second, how you can reduce the best icon style, which has a impact on the waste and your energy. Third is how you can improve your stoichiometric yield of it, which will ultimately reduce your it. I can share you one of example. We had an issue of getting, particles getting over into the wastewater treatment plant, and the COD was, let's say, 100%. 80% was coming from the product. So then we have gone to the at source. First, we have started with the treatment of it. Then we thought that it's not a good idea to work there, rather to work at source. So we have worked at the source. By just tweaking the chemistry, we could able to reduce the COD by organic load by 80%, improving 5% yield, giving me bottom line of 5% additional to the product. So that's the power of this one. The second part of energy, so we have an expert here, more than me, who can guide how we can save it. But energy efficient equipment installation is the key. One can go for the renewables, one can go for the higher efficiency of it, one can go for the greener fuel based on the availability of it. But my request to all of, whenever you put a new plant, first look for all three parts where you can able to do it by design, so that you don't have to look for then additional recoveries of the material, additional saving in the wastewater. So this you don't have to look for. Third, the most important where we need to look for beyond, like many companies have started with recycle, reuse, Now we proudly say that our waste going to the co-processing, but now time has come to think beyond co-processing. Let's say if we can recover the material, so now technology is available. Earlier it was a cost, but it's a profit now. Because if you see before 5 years, the companies was just spending on the waste, spending is still, but their recurring cost has come down. So their product has got a better margin due to working in all three: process, energy, and waste. So time has come up into that. As a Crystal, our commitment is in next 2 years, our 75% of the power will be renewable. We have committed to use only green fuel. And our plan, we have made a only 4-year plan. So by 2027, will be 10% reduction in all the emissions of greenhouse gases. So especially we focus on scope 1, scope 2. Scope 3, we have worked partially, but in scope 3, you can add, there is a lot of dependencies there which you can't influence. So this is my stake on it. Thank you.
Thank you. So we were talking of operations, of being sustainable. For me, safety also becomes an inherent part. Safety and sustainability go hand in hand. So Samir, can you share a forward-looking view on where the industry might be in 2030? Talking of the SSBD framework, the safe and sustainable design, and how is sustainability supporting in improving process safety as well as in operational excellence?
Thank you, Nitin. So SSBD, safe and sustainable by design, it's actually an approach adopted by European Union. SSBD concept guides companies through the innovation process so that they can develop products which are safe as well as sustainable. SSBD, along with another concept called PSA, Portfolio Sustainability Analysis, which is adopted by World Business Council, a lot of global companies are now adopting these two concepts. So that right from the design stage or even idea stage, the product you design, the product you commercialize are safe and sustainable. Our company, as I mentioned earlier, we already have this embedded into our innovation pipeline, and we have decided that all new products which we are going to launch will be sustainable. So all the multinational companies are taking extra efforts to make sure that the products which they launch will be safe and sustainable. The same thinking can be extended to operations. All the capex or any new initiatives you are going to do now when you are designing your expansion, your new plant, etc., or even modification of current plant. Again, the same thinking comes. How I can make my operations safe and sustainable. As you heard from our colleagues, a lot of commitment on renewable energy, a lot of commitment on green energy. So this is where I think safety and sustainability go hand in hand. At Indovinya, our company, the ranking of capex is like this. If capex is safety related, it gets approved. If it is sustainability related, it gets approved. Then comes business related. So business expansion capex needs to be debated, needs to be convinced to top management. But the safety and sustainability, no argument. So that is how we give importance to safety and sustainability. Thank you.
I think Krishnan has a different point of view actually.
No, I just want to make sure people are awake before lunch. So while I agree on safety and sustainability together at design stage, I think you very nicely brought it out. Safety at design, sustainability at design, product stewardship. Because 80% of your cost, safety and sustainability is built at the design stage. So there I agree. But driving safety and sustainability together, I totally disagree. Please don't let it reach my boss because I might get stripped of one of the responsibilities tomorrow. Driving safety and sustainability together is almost impossible because safety is here and now and ring fencing your business for continuity. Sustainability is thinking 5 years ahead. It's madness. Whatever little hair I had, it's lost in the last 2 years since I took this role. So I just want to set the cat among the pigeons. Dheeraj, don't record me.
Thank you, Krishnan. So we'll actually move on to the supply chain part of it, bringing the safety as well as the green angle to it. So for me, the green supply chain is the need of the hour. So Captain Mehrotra, how are supply chain and your area of operations practicing sustainability and sustainable practices?
So just to add on what I had given in my introduction, we also represent various ISO tank container operators, global ISO tank container operators. And we handle in the Indian roads, EXIM as well as the domestic, close to about 1 million ton in the transport of these chemicals. Besides that, as I mentioned, Zodiac is one of the facilities which we have set up near Nhava Sheva for the cleaning of the road tankers and the ISO tanks, which is totally a different setup where you will find a fully compliant facility. Now I'll try to highlight two aspects as far as the chemical industry is concerned, or rather three aspects. One is that, as we know, we are inching towards semicon industry, which is going to contribute, I think it needs about 800 different types of chemicals, manufacturing, import, export, supply chain for that, transport and everything, by 2030, which is a $1 billion industry. Besides the electric vehicle industry, which is also will be needing a lot of these sort of chemicals. And the second part is, as a chemical industry itself, from today $300 billion, we are going to reach to $1 trillion in the next 15 years. So when we hear from all the manufacturers and everyone, everybody is trying to be compliant within their own premises or within the products which you manufacture or you do. But what happens outside your premises, what is the control on your vendors and your supply chain, that is an extremely, extremely important aspect. Although this conference is on chemicals and petrochemicals, but I would like to also bring to the notice that as a country, we consume about 25 million ton of edible oil in India, and there are no cleaning facilities. The road tankers which move on the roads, the way they are moved, and so is also because we are dealing with many specialty chemical customers and who want absolutely spot free, but we are only contributing only a fraction of what the industry requires. So 25 million ton of edible oil moves across the roads. You see it every day, 2 Dakkan and 4 Dakkan tankers. And they are cleaned in the garages and the petrol pumps at middle of the night, which nobody wants to, or everybody wants to ignore it. Everybody knows it. There's no facility, so we are, as an industry, we are ignorant of the fact. Same is also with the chemical industry, that the manufacturers know that the supply chain, the infrastructure or the compliances are not being complied, but it is maybe a documentary work which we are trying to satisfy ourselves that yes, we are sustainable. Within ourselves, we are sustainable. And also the third thing is, it comes with a cost. So I think there was one of the discussion topics where, you want to be sustainable, but do you want to really pay for it? Is also a big question mark, because the procurement team always has a target. Quality team has a different target. And operations, of course, is one of the most vulnerable in between to manage both. So my appeal to the industry is I think we need to look at it holistically if we have to grow threefold. We are doing some bit with one of the facilities which we have set up to contribute towards this cause. We are going to set up a second facility in South Gujarat, which is again a big chemical hub, which is already under development. The third one will come in North India, which we are planning to do. But the scope in this industry, if you go to Europe, I think a lot of you will be going to Europe and seeing, there are about, everywhere you see, there are rail cars carrying chemicals, there are tankers, and there are about 600 facilities to clean. In India, we have got we can count on our fingers just about 20 to 25, and they are all basic, with no such compliance as far as actual compliance, which the industry would aspire to have their vendors to be. And we are continuing with that. So this is a big health hazard for the whole industry, as I mentioned, and we need to really look at it seriously, that you start demanding, as an industry, the chemical manufacturer must start demanding their vendors to become compliant and to see how it becomes compliant. So leaving it to them, and it does not help. So you can be sustainable within your premises, but what happens outside is, I think, which everybody needs to look at it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Captain. So, Santosh, would you like to bring the manufacturer's angle on this topic?
Yeah, manufacturing angle in this supply chain, why important? Because we are in business of the phenolic, and our raw material is far away, I can say Kochi and this Bhatinda. So in that case, transportation is playing major role, and we are playing a major cost in this production. By doing the life cycle assessment, we also identified that CO2 emissions mostly CO2 is generated mostly from our scope 3 and scope 2 from power plant. So on the basis of our discussion, we try to develop nearby vendors. Right in the Dahej area, we did one contact with one of very good agency, Petrol LNG, to supply their propylene from this Dahej itself. So that I can say major savings there. And in rail car we started to use in our toxic chemicals that to transport our phenol and the different locations. Second things, this benzene also main raw materials. In benzene, Opal is nearby. Then we utilized 2 capacity there, and we increased our tanker capacity. Earlier, PESO was not ready to allow, but now they worked and they agree to increase the capacity so that we can reduce the carbon footprint in this area. And our captive power plant is a very major role played in because this major source of this coal in water plant. So now this legal body allowed to use our biomass, agro-based, agro, so 20% of the total capacity. We are going third boiler. Third boiler, they allow to use this biomass. And there is a very easy process to legal process. ATP waste, yes, we have no waste at all in solid to use. Then, yes, our total focus, how can we reduce the carbon footprint? Yes, mangrove tree we planted, yes, in, very coastal areas. Coastal areas, this land degradation is a very big issue. Then mangrove, very good source of to decarbonize this CO2. So yes, we are doing a lot of things in this area. Thank you.
Thank you, Santosh. So good to hear from Santosh and Captain Mehrotra on what are the challenges that we are facing actually on this green supply chain side. Dr. Chaubey, if you can just highlight the challenges the industry faces in circularity through your vast experience and progressing in sustainability and aligning with the mission Viksit Bharat 2047 goals.
Right. So in circularity, industry love circularity because it enhances profitability, also it's reduce wastage, it's reduce pollution. So industry love it, circularity. But here with this forum, I want to bring certain policy aspects where at this moment, especially chemical industry faces the problem. Actually, the government of India, with very good intention, they brought Hazardous Waste Management Act 2016. So everyone welcome that, and from industry we also welcome that it is a fine and good act came, and it's passed through Parliament. But what happened in that act? One rule 9 is inserted. And today, if you discuss in the industry, then the people are facing problem with rule 9. And what rule 9 is saying, that all the byproduct will be treated as hazardous waste. So that is the first, I think there need to be intervention from our government policy maker, that why byproducts should be treated as hazardous waste. And those byproducts get cleared by expert appraisal committee. Chemical industry falls under category A, and we go in the expert appraisal committee, and while taking environment clearance, a lot of discussion happen in the expert appraisal committee, and they clear that yes, this is the byproduct, you can reuse and you can send for the use in other industry, you can sell it. But the rule 9 is saying that no, all the byproduct is hazardous waste. The second issue comes that you can sell or dispose this only when the SOP get approved by the jointly Central Pollution Control Board and a State Pollution Control Board. And today you will see that there are applications lying with the Pollution Control Board more than 3-4 years, and they have not approved it, and by that way industry is losing revenue as well as they are creating pollution on the landfill side. Like one example is our UPL. So in India, if you estimate, we just estimated that what kind of revenue loss we are facing at UPL, it is coming approximately 1,000 crore rupees annually. We are losing revenue, and it's not only losing revenue, but we are sending and disposing those byproduct which can be used somewhere to the landfill site. And we are increasing the load on the landfill sites. And so many applications are lying to make the SOP. So I think circular economy is very good. In industry, everyone loves circularity and everyone is working on it. But our policy makers must understand that the rule 9 is creating problem, and they should try to figure out that how the byproduct should be taken away from the hazardous waste category. And I think the moment they will take out the byproduct from the hazardous waste category, this problem will be solved.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Chaubey. I think, yeah, please.
What this concern raised by the Dr. Chaubey is very genuine. What I am seeing that when we start some inviting these legal regulators in this type of forum, then definitely interaction will increase and definitely they will understand what is our pain and how can they help us, because now CPCB started some survey, they hired some consultant to do, and they visited our site with the CPCB. And in the CPCB also, they are so interested to see how we are working and how we are doing the recovery process. We are optimizing our product, energy, water, some, and they are so happy that they increase the interest. So I also request this Praveen ji, if possible, we can invite regulator also, so that they can also know, we can start the interaction here. Thank you.
Thank you. So Praveen has just reminded me of the time. So I will not be having closing remarks from my panelists. I thank you all for this engaging discussion that we had. And thank you for the audience as well. I think the discussion has led a lot of food for thought. You can get in touch with the panelists over lunch. Thank you.